Rise, my apprentice.
In the aftermath of the Battle of Naboo, Qui-Gon Jinn has perished, leaving Anakin Skywalker, the boy he believed to be the chosen one, without a mentor. In the original timeline, Obi-Wan Kenobi steps up to fulfill his master's final wish by training Anakin as a Jedi. But in this alternate timeline, the Jedi Council recognizes that Obi-Wan, though skilled, lacks the experience needed to train someone as powerful and unorthodox as Anakin. Instead, they assign Master Plo Koon, a highly respected and seasoned Jedi Master, known for his calm demeanor, deep wisdom, and powerful connection to the Force, to be Anakin's mentor. Plo Koon, who has always been a compassionate and patient teacher, accepts this responsibility, sensing the potential within Anakin. He recognizes that the boy needs guidance, not just in the ways of the Force, but also in how to control his emotions, a challenge that will prove central to Anakin's path as a Jedi. From the very beginning, the relationship between Plo Koon and Anakin Skywalker is different from what it would have been with Obi-Wan. Where Obi-Wan might have adhered more rigidly to the Jedi Code and struggled with Anakin's emotional volatility, Plo Koon takes a more measured and understanding approach. He quickly identifies Anakin's strong attachment to his mother and the deep emotional wounds left by his years as a slave. Rather than suppressing Anakin's emotions outright, Plo Koon teaches Anakin how to confront and understand his feelings, especially his fears and anger. Plo emphasizes the importance of emotional balance and mindfulness, helping Anakin work through his attachments rather than avoiding or suppressing them. This approach helps Anakin feel less isolated and misunderstood compared to his experience with Obi-Wan. Plo Koon also introduces Anakin to various aspects of the Force that Obi-Wan might not have explored as deeply, particularly the more spiritual and meditative sides of Jedi practice. Anakin finds these teachings fascinating and starts to appreciate the more reflective aspects of being a Jedi. However, despite these teachings, Anakin's anger and impatience still surface, especially when it comes to his desire for power and his fear of losing those he loves. Plo Koon knows that guiding Anakin through these struggles will be a lifelong challenge, but he remains steadfast in his belief that Anakin can fulfill his potential without falling to the dark side. As Anakin grows older, he continues to struggle with feelings of doubt, fear, and impatience. He feels the incredible power within him and knows that he is the chosen one, but at times he is frustrated with the pace of his training and the limits the Jedi place on him. Unlike Obi-Wan, who may have enforced strict discipline, Plo Koon approaches Anakin's frustrations with understanding. He acknowledges Anakin's desire to achieve more, but he constantly reminds him that true mastery comes not from raw power, but from balance, patience, and wisdom. Plo teaches Anakin that the Force is not just a tool for power, but a guide to understanding the universe and one's place within it. Plo Koon's more empathetic approach means that while Anakin still harbors ambition, he does not feel as alienated by the Jedi as he might have in the original timeline. However, there are still moments where Anakin feels conflicted, particularly regarding his secret attachment to Padme Amidala and the fear of losing those he loves. Plo Koon continues to be the steady and compassionate mentor that Anakin needs, guiding him through difficult times and helping him understand that his emotions are not something to fear or repress, but something to be mastered and understood. Plo shares with Anakin the Keldor philosophy, which values balance, justice, and humility in all things. Plo Koon also introduces Anakin to more advanced Force techniques, including deep meditation and a heightened awareness of the living Force. These teachings resonate with Anakin, who finds solace in the idea that the Force connects all living things and that through it he can find peace and balance. While Anakin is still prone to moments of impatience and doubt, Plo's calm and wise mentorship helps him stay grounded. Plo Koon is well aware of Anakin's immense potential, but also of the danger that his emotional volatility presents. He commits himself fully to ensuring that Anakin never feels abandoned or misunderstood, hoping to prevent the dark temptations that could arise from Anakin's fear of loss. As the Clone Wars erupt across the galaxy, Anakin, now a Jedi Knight, is thrown into the thick of battle. He quickly earns a reputation as a fierce warrior and brilliant strategist. Under Plo Koon's guidance, Anakin balances his combat prowess with a deep sense of duty to protect the innocent. Throughout the war, Anakin and Plo Koon fight side by side on multiple occasions, forming a bond not just as master and apprentice, but as equals and friends. Plo's calm and steady leadership serves as a counterbalance to Anakin's fiery nature, and Anakin learns to temper his impulses in battle, The war pushes Anakin to his limits, and while his connection to Padme Amidala remains a secret, it continues to weigh heavily on his mind. His fear of losing her, coupled with the growing pressures of the Clone Wars, begin to test the patience and balance that Plo Koon has instilled in him. Despite his inner struggles, Anakin finds strength in Plo's guidance, and he often seeks his mentor's advice when faced with difficult decisions. Plo Koon, aware of Anakin's internal conflict, chooses not to confront him directly about his secret marriage, but continues to offer wisdom that encourages emotional honesty and responsibility. Plo teaches Anakin that the Jedi Code is not meant to suppress feelings, but to help a Jedi understand how to use them wisely. Anakin, though not entirely at peace, feels less isolated in his struggles because of Plo's understanding. As Anakin grows stronger in the Force and gains more experience in the war, he is promoted to general in the Grand Army of the Republic. His victories become legendary, and his influence over the soldiers he leads is undeniable. Plo Koon's teachings remain with Anakin during battle, guiding him to use his power responsibly and to act with compassion and wisdom, even in the heat of war. However, the longer the Clone Wars drag on, the more Anakin is exposed to the harsh realities of the galaxy's conflict. He witnesses firsthand the suffering of the people he is trying to protect, and his frustration with the Senate's inability to end the war grows. The cracks in Anakin's calm facade begin to show, but Plo Koon is always there to help him refocus and remind him of the Jedi's true purpose: to protect peace, not to dominate or control. As the war intensifies, Anakin faces increasingly difficult challenges. He finds himself on the front lines of critical battles, and the decisions he must make carry significant weight. Plo Koon, always by his side or offering guidance from afar, helps him navigate the complexities of leadership and the burden of responsibility. During a campaign on Felucia, Anakin and Plo Koon are tasked with leading a Republic assault on a key separatist stronghold. The mission is dangerous and requires precise coordination. While Anakin's instinct is to push forward aggressively and end the battle quickly, Plo Koon encourages patience, advising that a more measured approach will save lives. Anakin initially struggles with this, feeling that speed and power are the best ways to achieve victory. However, he trusts Plo's judgment and follows his lead. The battle is a success, and Anakin learns a valuable lesson about the importance of strategy and restraint. This test strengthens Anakin's trust in Plo Koon's wisdom, reinforcing the bond between them. As the war continues, Chancellor Palpatine, still manipulating events behind the scenes, begins to take an interest in Anakin's rapid rise through the ranks of the Jedi. Palpatine, seeing Anakin's potential and knowing of his inner conflicts, attempts to undermine Plo Koon's influence over Anakin by offering him opportunities for greater power and authority. Palpatine subtly feeds into Anakin's frustrations with the Jedi Council's reluctance to act decisively. He frames Plo's teachings of patience and balance as a limitation on Anakin's true potential, suggesting that the Jedi Order is holding him back. Palpatine whispers of dark powers that could help Anakin protect the ones he loves, particularly Padme, whose life Anakin still fears for. Though Anakin is tempted, Plo Koon's teachings resonate within him. Anakin understands the dangers of power without control, and recalls Plo's lessons on the importance of balance and emotional mastery. While Anakin remains conflicted, he chooses to confide in Plo rather than falling prey to Palpatine's manipulations. Plo Koon, sensing the Chancellor's influence, warns Anakin of the dangers of seeking power for selfish reasons. He reminds Anakin that the dark side of the Force is seductive, but it ultimately consumes those who seek to control it. Anakin, still struggling with his fear of losing Padme, does not fully dismiss Palpatine's words, but he is not ready to betray the Jedi either. As the war reaches its height, Anakin and Plo Koon witness the toll it takes on their fellow Jedi. Many are lost in battle, and the Republic's military campaigns grow increasingly brutal. Anakin's emotions begin to overwhelm him as he grapples with the loss of friends and the horrors of war. At this critical juncture, Plo Koon emphasizes the importance of grieving without succumbing to anger. He teaches Anakin that loss is a part of life, and that it is the Jedi's role to maintain peace, even in the face of personal tragedy. These lessons help Anakin keep his balance, though his fear of losing those closest to him, particularly Padme, remains. As the Jedi begin to suspect that Darth Sidious, a Sith Lord, is manipulating events behind the scenes, Plo Koon and Anakin are drawn deeper into the fight to uncover the truth. The Jedi Council dispatches both of them on critical missions to investigate the mysterious rise of the Sith and to end the Clone Wars. During this time, Palpatine's influence over Anakin grows more intense. He begins to openly openly suggests that Anakin should consider a path beyond the Jedi, hinting that the dark side could provide the answers he seeks to protect his loved ones. Palpatine knows that Anakin's fear of losing Padme is his greatest weakness, and he exploits it at every turn. Though Anakin confides in Plo Koon about his fears, the pressure of the war and Palpatine's relentless manipulation begin to take their toll. Plo senses Anakin's growing inner turmoil, but remains hopeful that his guidance will be enough to keep Anakin from falling into darkness. The final turning point comes when Anakin has a vision of Padme's death in childbirth. The vision shakes him to his core, and his fear of loss overwhelms him. He feels helpless despite Plo Koon's teachings, and begins to believe that the Jedi's path may not be enough to save her. Desperate, Anakin turns to Palpatine for answers, and the Chancellor finally reveals his true identity as Darth Sidious. Palpatine tells Anakin that only by embracing the dark side can he learn the secrets to save Padme. This revelation shatters Anakin's trust in Palpatine, but his fear of losing Padme makes him vulnerable to Sidious's offer. Anakin, conflicted and torn between his loyalty to Plo Koon and his desire to protect Padme, hesitates. He seeks out Plo one last time, hoping for an answer that will give him peace. Plo Koon, sensing Anakin's fear and turmoil, reminds him of all he has learned, the importance of balance, the dangers of power, and the truth that attachment can lead to darkness if not properly managed. Plo urges Anakin to trust in the Force, to let go of his fear, and to accept that some things are beyond even a Jedi's control. He assures Anakin that Padme's fate is not set in stone and that the future is always in motion. Despite Plo Koon's reassurances, Anakin's fear of losing Padme still gnaws at him. He feels torn between Plo's teachings of patience and acceptance and Palpatine's promises of control over life and death. Anakin begins to believe that if he doesn't act, Padme's fate will be sealed. His inner turmoil reaches its breaking point as he contemplates whether to embrace the dark side or trust in the path of the Jedi. Knowing that time is running out, Mace Windu and a small group of Jedi, including Plo Koon, confront Palpatine in his office. The encounter turns into a fierce battle as Palpatine reveals his true power as Darth Sidious. In the ensuing fight, Sidious proves to be a formidable foe, but the Jedi, including Plo Koon, fight valiantly to bring him down. As the battle between the Jedi and Darth Sidious rages on, Anakin arrives at the scene, having sensed through the Force that something momentous is happening. He walks in just as Mace Windu is about to strike down Sidious, who is defenseless after unleashing a powerful surge of Sith lightning against the Jedi. Palpatine pleads with Anakin, telling him that the Jedi are traitors and that only through him can Anakin learn the power to save Padme. He manipulates Anakin's fear of loss, pushing him toward making the ultimate choice. Anakin looks to Plo Koon, his trusted mentor, who is injured but standing firm, ready to bring Sidious to justice. Plo Koon's gaze holds no judgment, only understanding. He reminds Anakin, even in this critical moment, of all they have learned together, that the Force is about balance, and that giving in to fear and anger will lead to darkness. For a long, agonizing moment, Anakin stands between the light and the dark. Palpatine's voice promising the power to save Padme rings in his ears, while Plo Koon's calm and steady presence reminds him of the Jedi's true path. In this timeline, Anakin makes a different choice. Instead of striking down Mace Windu and siding with Palpatine, Anakin steps forward and ignites his lightsaber, but against Sidious. With a single, decisive move, Anakin helps the Jedi overpower Sidious, finally ending the Sith Lord's long-standing manipulation of the Republic. With Darth Sidious defeated, the Jedi move quickly to restore peace to the Republic. Anakin Skywalker, despite his inner turmoil, has resisted the temptation of the dark side, and in doing so, he has fulfilled part of his destiny as the Chosen One, restoring balance to the Force by helping to eliminate the Sith. Though Palpatine is gone, the consequences of the Clone Wars continue to ripple throughout the galaxy. The Republic, weakened by the war and the machinations of the Sith, begins the slow process of rebuilding. The Jedi, too, are forced to confront their own shortcomings, realizing that their focus on rigid adherence to the code nearly lost them the Chosen One to darkness. Anakin, though still haunted by visions of Padme's death, finds solace in Plo Koon's teachings. He realizes that he cannot control the future, and that true strength lies not in manipulating the Force, but in trusting it. Anakin seeks out Yoda and Plo Koon for guidance, immersing himself in deeper training and meditation to find peace within himself. Padme, still unaware of the full extent of Anakin's internal struggle, survives her childbirth without the dire dire consequences Anakin had foreseen. She gives birth to Luke and Leia, and the two children grow up in a galaxy that has narrowly avoided the total collapse of democracy. With Anakin by her side, Padme continues to fight for the ideals of the Republic, working with the newly restored Senate to bring true peace to the galaxy. Anakin Skywalker, now a hero of the Republic and a fully realized Jedi Knight, returns to Coruscant a changed man. Though he still wrestles with the trauma of the war and his visions, he is more centered and at peace than ever before. Under Plo Koon's mentorship, Anakin has learned to balance the immense power he wields with wisdom and restraint. The Jedi Order, recognizing Anakin's growth, begins to see him as a figure of hope for the future. With Plo Koon and Yoda's guidance, Anakin is invited to take on more significant roles within the Order, leading diplomatic missions and mentoring younger Jedi, ensuring that the lessons he learned under Plo's tutelage are passed down. The galaxy, though still in recovery, is filled with hope. The shadow of the Sith has been lifted, and while challenges remain, the Chosen One has fulfilled his role by ensuring that the Force remains in balance. Plo Koon, quietly proud of the Jedi Anakin has become, continues his service as a revered Jedi Master. He knows that the future of the galaxy is in good hands, not just because of the end of the Sith, but because of the wisdom and compassion Anakin has learned through their shared journey. Years later, Anakin Skywalker reflects on the path that brought him to where he is now. He knows that his journey could have taken him to a much darker place, and that without Plo Koon's calm and patient guidance, he might have given in to the fears and anger that once consumed him. But through his mentor's teachings, Anakin has become the Jedi he was always meant to be, not just powerful, but wise, balanced, and deeply connected to the living Force. With Luke and Leia by his side, and Padme continuing her work to restore the Republic, Anakin finds peace in knowing that he has played his part in shaping a better future for the galaxy. The darkness that once threatened to consume him is gone, and in its place is the light that Plo Koon always believed he could find within himself.